What if death wasn't something to fear, but something to master? Imagine standing face to face with your own end, not with panic, not with regret, but with calm awareness and even gratitude. This isn't a fantasy. It was the daily reality of Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's most legendary swordsman, undefeated in over 60 duels, and author of the Book of Five Rings. Musashi did not just fight battles with swords, he waged war on fear, ego, and attachment. And in the end, he did something most of us avoid until it's too late. He made peace with death. Today, we explore the Stoic backbone of Musashi's philosophy, the mindset that allowed him to walk into battle and into death without blinking. What can his fearless embrace of mortality teach us about living with greater clarity, strength, and purpose? Welcome to The Unfolding Journey, a channel where we dive deep into timeless wisdom, ancient philosophy, and modern self-mastery. Whether you're navigating chaos, seeking stillness, or trying to find purpose in a noisy world, we're here to bring you insights that go beyond trends and into truth. Let's unfold this journey together, one principle at a time. Musashi, the warrior philosopher. Miyamoto Musashi wasn't just a killer with a blade. He was an ascetic, an artist, a philosopher. He lived in a time of war, during Japan's turbulent Sengoku period, where death wasn't a possibility, it was an expectation. From the age of 13, he entered life-or-death duels and emerged undefeated. But as his legend grew, so did his inner journey. He retired to a cave, Ryagando, in his final days, not in fear, but to write. There, he penned the Book of Five Rings, a guide not only to swordsmanship, but to life itself. In its final chapters, he embraces death like an old friend. The way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death. Miyamoto Musashi. This isn't poetry, it was his reality. Death is not the enemy. In modern society, death is taboo. We push it away, cover it up, deny its presence. But to Musashi, as to the Stoics, death wasn't the enemy, it was the mirror. Both he and Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius practiced the mental discipline of memento mori, remembering mortality to live more clearly. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. Musashi and the Stoics saw death not as morbid, but as clarifying. Death removes illusion. It shows us what matters. It teaches us detachment, humility, and urgency. Where the modern world teaches us to cling to youth and avoid risk, Musashi invites us to look at death straight in the eyes and bow, training the mind to face death. Musashi didn't wake up one day fearless. His resolve was forged through daily training, not just of the body, but of the mind. He embraced solitude, denied himself luxuries, and studied arts like painting, calligraphy, and Zen meditation. Why? Because he believed the greatest battles were within. The primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy. Musashi. His sword wasn't just a weapon, it was an extension of will. In modern terms, Musashi was the embodiment of deliberate practice, the kind of mental conditioning spoken of by athletes, Navy SEALs, and monks alike. By facing small deaths daily, the death of comfort, the death of ego, he made peace with the final one. The warrior's calm. One of the most striking qualities of Musashi's writing is his calm. Even when writing about killing or dying or detachment, there's a clarity to his words. This mirrors Stoicism's concept of apatheia, not apathy, but serenity. A stillness of mind that allows you to act rightly, without being ruled by emotion. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Musashi. This teaching applies now more than ever. In a world driven by performance and persona, Musashi reminds us, your internal stillness is your greatest weapon. Ego, death, and detachment. Musashi spoke of death not only in physical terms, but in the spiritual sense, the death of ego. He rejected fame, fortune, and even romantic attachment, not because he despised them, but because he refused to be ruled by them. Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. Musashi. Like Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust and wrote Man's Search for Meaning, Musashi understood that the one thing we can always control is our attitude. Ego, fear, even suffering, they can be transformed into strength if we detach from identity. Modern psychology calls this non-attachment. Musashi just called it the way. The final days, Musashi's death. In 1645, at the age of 61, Musashi knew his time was near. He withdrew to a cave with no students, no servants, just his brush and his mind. There, he wrote Dakoto, The Path of Aloneness, 21 Principles for Living and Dying Well. Among them, do not fear death. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not regret what you have done. Musashi died alone, but not lonely. At peace, a man who had faced every battle, external and internal, with eyes wide open. He didn't conquer death. He walked alongside it. What this means for us today. So what can we learn from Musashi in the 21st century? 1. Live with intention. Every day could be your last. That's not a curse, it's a compass. 2. Train your mind. Mental discipline isn't built in crisis, it's built in practice. Small challenges forge great resilience. 3. Confront your fear. What you fear most often hides what you value most. Musashi didn't avoid fear, he walked through it. 4. Practice ego death. Detach from titles, likes, followers. Strength isn't found in applause, it's found in silence. 5. Accept the end. Like the Stoics, like the samurai, let death be your teacher, not your terror. Musashi's fearlessness wasn't bravado, it was wisdom. He didn't conquer death through denial. He embraced it through understanding. And in doing so, he lived more fully than most of us ever dare to. In his silence, we hear a call, live with courage. Die with honor. And walk your path with eyes open. Because in the end, it's not about fearing death, it's about not wasting life. If Musashi's words stirred something in you, if you feel the call to live with more intention, more clarity, and more courage, then join us. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to The Unfolding Journey for more explorations into ancient wisdom, modern resilience, and the timeless path to personal mastery. Leave a comment with your favorite Musashi principle and how you plan to face fear in your own life. The journey doesn't end, it unfolds. See you in the next one.